These are hard. In this video, I'll be practicing arm balances from what I would rank as easiest to most challenging. This video is done in the spirit of fun, so feel free to be challenged and practice them with me. Let me know in the comments which one you got stopped at, or just watch along for fun. Let's dive in. Starting with crow pose, this arm balance is generally the first one that people learn because your body is completely symmetrical. Next up, we'll add a twist. This is called side crow. So taking your knees to the side, similar concept as crow, except we add that twist. The knee is on the back of my arm. Adding on to your side crow, if you just straighten your legs, you'll come into what's called flying scissors. So this is what it looks like. We enter in through our side crow, and then from there, we straighten out the legs. Next up is flying splits. This is actually the first arm balance I learned, which just goes to show you that ranking in order doesn't really mean much of anything. We're just having fun. So this is where you'll take your chaturanga arms and balance here on your hands while the legs are split apart. Next, we have a fun one called 8 angle. This one trips people up a lot, and I think it's because you have to move from straight arm to bent, which does require a lot of strength. So here we go. Now I bend the arms. This is our 8 angle. There's a fun thing you can do here where you unlock the legs. This is called ninja pose. Next up is something called insect pose, also known as shoulder pressing pose, because the legs have to really press into those shoulders in order to keep from sliding down. Now, building on from insect pose, we increase the challenge into firefly by straightening the legs. This is a hard one for most people because it does require both strength and flexibility. So we enter in the same way we would in our insect pose, but this time we're going to straighten out the legs. Next we have flying pigeon, a deep hip opener plus arm balance. I like to come into this pose from figure 4 shape. Place the hands down. Now there's a baby version where we keep the back leg bent, and then the full version where we straighten out that leg. Building off that figure 4 concept is something called grasshopper. It's like figure 4, but you're adding a twist, which makes it more challenging and complex. So I'll come into it the same way here. Now I've got to have a deep enough twist to hook the back of my arm. Hands come down, basically standing on the back of my arm with that foot, and then the other leg straightens. Next we have crane pose, which is essentially like crow pose, but with straight arms. Any straight arm balance is going to be more difficult than with bent arms in general. So here we go, keeping the arms nice and straight. You have to do a big shift forward of those shoulders. Crane pose. Next up we have L-sit. I'm putting this as a harder pose because I have really short arms. So someone with long arms is going to watch this video and be like, that is so easy, but it is not easy for me. So I'm ranking it towards the end. I'm actually going to use blocks to help lengthen my arms here. So L-sit is like our pike position. This next one is called Asana, or forearm balance. While definitely an inversion, I also classify it as an arm balance because we're basically taking balance on our forearms. Let's see this one in action. And finally, for the most challenging arm balance, at least to me, is single leg crow pose. This is basically crow pose with just one leg on the arms. I just find it to be so hard. So here we go. Let's see if I can do it. If you're practicing with me, good luck. Let's go. Can't hold that one for too long, but just happy I was able to do it today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know that arm balancing can seem intimidating, but it's actually more accessible than you think. Yes, you do need strength, you need some flexibility, but what you really need to know is understanding where to shift your body to get that flight. And once you have that, they'll kind of all unlock for you. I have a couple tutorials right on this page that you can get for free in arm balances like crow pose and side crow. But if you really want to dive deep, then get my online yoga series called Activate Your Arm Balances. It has in-depth tutorials, shows you how to use props, shows you how to condition and build strength for each of the arm balances, and then puts them together in short little classes where you can practice them and continue to develop that strength. So I'll link that in the description box, as well as a freebie, a free guide that breaks down the 4 obstacles that are likely preventing you from arm balancing and how to overcome that. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please share with me which arm balance you think is the most challenging and where you are on your arm balance journey in the comments. I'll see you in the next video. I've got a cramp. Oh, yes. These are hard. Another cramp. Oh. Some days I got this, some days I don't. Oh. I'm gonna try that again. She's doing it, folks. Literally everything's cramping. Okay. Okay. Next. You let me know how you did in the comments.